So yeah, aliens exist, I guess. Happy Wednesday, everybody. That's right. Well, for those of you who don't know, the US government today has been having some public trials wherein a number of individuals with various levels of security clearance have claimed that the existence of aliens is confirmed and that they have seen or bore witness to or heard people talking about both the recovery of extraterrestrial bodies as well as things called UAPs, which I guess is the new UFO. I don't know if that's like unidentified airplane or unidentified anomalous phenomenon or unidentified anal probe. Point is, they're spaceships, right? That's the idea, or trans-dimensional ships, or whatever you want to call them. As you can imagine, this puts me in an awkward position. I'm an archaeologist, so I've spent a large part of my career debunking ancient aliens online to friends and family. So now, naturally, I am getting bombarded with text messages that essentially boil down to nanny nanny poo poo, we were right and you are doo doo, which obviously is not super fun, but I get it. I understand when you have somebody telling you aliens aren't real, aliens aren't real, aliens aren't real, and then all of a sudden the government comes out and goes, low key though, they kinda are, dog. I can get wanting to rub that in the denier's face, and that's fair. So I'm just going to come out and say what I think about the subject, which what it boils down to is I still have yet to see an alien. And look, if all of these announcements end up coming out and the proof ends up building and building and we end up seeing more and more stuff like that, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. You know, we could be flying around on our new little jetpacks in our little space cruisers going to the moons of Titan, and you can say, hey, you know, Rune, don't you feel like an idiot that you didn't think aliens existed? And then I'll be flying right next to you going, actually, I don't give a crap. I am flying a jetpack in space. So once that happens, I will happily come over to that side. And hey, while we're at it, if you guys really want me to believe in aliens, then subscribe to the channel. And if you want me to continue to do science-based research and wait for more evidence to be presented before I draw any conclusions about aliens, then you should subscribe to the channel. Look, I mean, leaving aside all of the multitude of issues that come up with ancient alien theories that have much more theoretical and subjective problems to them, just getting down to the nitty-gritty of it here, my biggest problem that I've had with ancient alien theories is that so many things don't make sense about it. Like, number one, everybody talking about the pyramids being some kind of like Neptunian JCPenney or something. Like, if you're confused about how people thought to make things in the shape of a pyramid, it's not that hard. I was making pyramids out of Legos when I was 6 without anybody teaching me, because it was the best way to make a Lego block tower. You start as a tall, thin tower, and then it falls over. You get a thicker tower, it goes up higher and then falls over, and then eventually you start to build a wide. It's just, it makes sense. It's what it is. It's triangles. It's not that complicated. Not to mention the fact that the Egyptian empires were like 4,000, 6,000 years old, like thousands upon thousands of years old, right? Imagine for a second that America was started 2 Jesuses ago, right? We're going back to Jesus, and then we're going back to a second earlier 2,000-year-old Jesus, right? 2 Jesuses ago, Egypt was started. And we're sitting here trying to say, like, oh yeah, over the course of 4,000 years, the Egyptians, who had a massive empire with all sorts of technology, granted not as advanced as some of the stuff that we have now, but still pretty good for the time, we thought that they weren't able to think up a pyramid. That's what ancient alien theorists are like, and I can't get behind that. Not to mention the fact that, look, if these aliens came down and they presented themselves as gods or heroes or who's-he what's-its, they're not going to come down and be like, yo, talk about me exclusively in metaphor and use only these sort of very designer-style artistic renditions. Don't anywhere write down, this is so-and-so, he came from space using advanced technology from this planet. Everybody should remember him forever because he's such a pog champ. Like, that's what you would do if you're coming down and you're trying to make people treat you like a god. Be like, I am an immense being who needs to be remembered for all time, and yeah, I'm going to leave you guys now and never come back. And if I do ever come back, I'm going to hide in the woods and scare rednecks. But hey, look, if they do come down here and say, yeah, we're ancient aliens, we built all this stuff, I'm going to be the first one in line asking for a field trip. Because can you imagine how much better it probably is flying off to do space archaeology than it was for the past month that I spent in the desert digging in 120-degree heat, just digging up sand. I would much rather dig up space sand. Point is, I'm saying it's hard to believe right now, but please God, give me a reason to believe. Give me something. Give me a real thing. Give me an alien. Give me a laser gun. Give me something more than a senile old ex-government official going in front of Congress. Like, trust, dog. Look, okay, here's the deal. When I was a young lad, all right, I was very impressionable, and I had to do an assignment for a high school class. It was a speech class, and I had to give a talk on a certain subject that I had researched, and I chose aliens. So I gave it was a 15-minute talk. I talked for a full hour class period about the existence of aliens, the different breeds and types of species of aliens that were out there in the universe, what their goals and their missions and their objective were. You know, I was talking about the Alpha Centauri. I was talking about the reptilians. I was talking about the Greys, tall and short. We were going through it all, baby. I was full Kool-Aid in it for a little period of time. So it's not like I'm coming into this a constant denier. I had it. I full believed. I was full sending it into low orbit on the alien hype train. And then I pulled it back after doing more research, after looking into things, after studying. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't believe in aliens again if all of that evidence was presented, but until the evidence outweighs everything else that I have seen and learned about, then that's where my mindset is. And that's kind of where what I've been telling people so far. I definitely think that aliens are out there somewhere. I just don't think that they're here meddling around in our stuff. Anyway, as with all things in archaeology, we will change our minds when presented with new evidence. There's a lot of studies and stuff that are going on these days that are really changing the opinions of different little niches within archaeology. Just earlier this year, we actually had a video where we talked about a new runic discovery that pushed the earliest times that people were carving runic inscriptions in Scandinavia back by a couple hundred years to the 1st century AD. There were times where people didn't think that that was the case at all, and that runestones were a much more recent development. Like late Iron Age Scandinavians were kind of developing, coming in contact with Christian Europe. But now we're discovering that these runestones date back to when Christ was potentially still alive, which massively rewrites that entire little section of history. So looking at that and adapting and developing new theories and new ideas based on that new information is what archaeology is all about. So if we end up coming into a situation where aliens are coming in and they're giving us all this new swath of information, or if they're changing the entire span of what we consider to be archaeology and history, then great. Maybe they can answer some dang questions that we got, because we certainly have plenty of them. And I would just like to reiterate here that I am neither confirming nor denying the existence of aliens. This is I said this is a middle of the road take, and that's what I'm doing here. You know, I'm not confirming that I think aliens exist and are here doing alien stuff, nor do I deny that that is the case should they end up coming out. I'm saving my keister here, not just for the pros. Anyway, don't take my word for it. Do your own research, come up with your own theories. Just please make sure that you're using reputable sources. And yeah, if the aliens are here, I, for one, accept our brave new overlords and hope that they give us free healthcare and student loan forgiveness. If they do that, hey, I am on it, baby. I'll convert all of my dollars to Zapnards, and we will, you know, I will fly to the moons of Clock, Queeble, Gooble, Xenon, Warrior Princess to mine the ores of... This bit. This is a bad bit. This is a bad bit. Went on too long.